I am speaking with Olivia Gado and Eleyna Bear. They are on the very first Cape Ann Museum Teen Council. I would like to ask you right off the bat, how do teenagers experience art these days? And what are they looking for when they seek out art or they make art?
I think nowadays a lot of a lot of experiencing art is done online and not in person. I think through social media has been a great way to see art, um, an easier way, a less expensive way to see art, and interact with an artist that is selling their art or just wants to share their art with the world. I know I follow a lot of artists on Instagram, and I can even reach out to them quickly through a DM and say, "Hey, I like your stuff. I'm a young artist myself. I really appreciate what you're doing." And I think that's something that hasn't been able to happen before, and I'm really thankful for that. Because as I said, as a young artist myself, it's great to meet other artists that are older and have a lot of experience. And I think nowadays, in our world, a lot of my generation, I feel like, is looking for art from artists that haven't been highlighted in the spotlight before, whether that be queer artists or artists of color. Um, a lot of art nowadays in museums is from a very specific group of people, and I think I see that slowly changing in the fine arts world, and I can hope that our generation pushes that change further so we can see art from everyone, eventually in museums.
So
No, that was perfectly said.
yeah. So tell me about, and Olivia, you can take this one, about the nuts and bolts of the very first Teen Council at the Cape Ann Museum. How did you learn about it? And how does it work? How do you meet? And what are you trying to accomplish?
So I think it was created in early May. We all found out about it through different ways, and we applied, and then we got called back for interviews. And we started in late June-ish. We come once a week for 5 hours every Wednesday. And we've just been meeting with different members of the museum to try to get insight on their position and what they do and how their role works, because everyone is so different. And we've been trying to increase teen engagement at the museum, whether that be creating an Instagram or our new teen night series, or just even leaving our mark in the new exhibit now. And yeah.
So it sounds as if you are both learning about how the museum works and creating your own programming that will appeal to your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And tell us about the programming. You've started this new teen series.
Yeah. So we've been planning for this Friday, but I think in the future we want to do at least once a month. Hopefully, our hopes are twice a month. And we just want to have teens come and interact with the museum. I think this new Cam Green really set off the idea. Having this huge lawn is a great space to bring teens together and interact with each other and with the art here. And I think as of right now, we don't have anything set in stone yet, but I think we want to have different events based off of different exhibits or different types of art. I think as much as we can do to increase the teens engaging here at the museum.
Now, do you want to comment on that? Because I know that was the Cape Ann Museum's mission, is to get more engagement from people your age. Do you want to just talk about that a little bit? Like why maybe where was the disconnect between people in high school maybe not finding out about the Cape Ann Museum and the programs?
Yeah, I think people go to see art to see themselves reflected in the art that they see, and I think for teenagers that might not necessarily be true all the time. And I know the Cape Ann Museum really tries to highlight maritime history and keep that history alive. So I think this council and these kind of programs that we're kind of starting to create is really looking towards the future of the Cape Ann Museum and seeing who and how will be a part of this future, and really wanting to get teens engaged so that this history that we have currently in the museums will be preserved, and we hopefully will start seeing some teen art and teen engagement reflected back at us in the museum in the future.
Hmm. And I understand that the museum has just installed an exhibit called Learning to Swim.
Yeah.
And you have engaged, they look like very traditional paintings to me, and you have engaged with them in a novel way. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so the Learning to Swim exhibit is about learning to swim, and one of the parts of the exhibit is an interactive map where people can come and take a little sticker and put it up on the map. And we were in charge of the map. So we went into the archives and we looked through all of these old maps of Cape Ann, the Cape Ann shoreline, and the North Shore shoreline, because we wanted to integrate different, not just Cape Ann, but Ipswich and the Plum Island and Beverly and Salem. And so we looked through a bunch of old archival maps and chose one. And then we projected it on the wall and we traced it out and added little fun art pieces. And we drew this whole map that now people can come in and put their sticker on where the beach they went to learn to swim. So that was really fun. And if people can come and see it now, it's up. We walked in this morning and there were little stickers and I got so excited because I was like, oh, people are actually doing it. So that was really, really cool. And we also got to see the exhibit get put up and learned about how creating an exhibit and putting up an exhibit works too.
Yeah, I love that. So I did like jump in to see if I could see the exhibit, but it wasn't quite ready. But I could see that the paintings were very traditional, you know, and I love that you have this totally modern interactive piece that goes with it.
Yeah.
That's really fun. So tell me about your personal experiences in this as on the teen council, and what do you feel like the big takeaways for you have been this summer?
Well, personally, I'm not artistic, so I was a little bit intimidated by the Teen Arts Council, but I think even just getting to learn about the director's role and the archival role and the curator and everything is so interesting to me. I personally love history and museums and cultural institutions, so that's a really interesting aspect. And I think also just like having a say in kind of what goes on, like we've been a part of the Learning to Swim exhibit, and then even creating our own teens night series. I didn't think that would happen, and creating the Instagram. So I think like it was different than what I expected, and I wouldn't change it. I think it was a really great opportunity, and I'm so happy that I experienced it. And yeah, I think just like what Olivia said, I definitely went in expecting it to be a certain way, and it completely was different, and I'm really appreciative of that. And I really love art, and working in museum is hopefully what I'm going to do in my future. So really just getting to focus for me on the community aspect of how to draw in people, how to get people to engage with art in the museum has been such an amazing experience for me to kind of learn how to do that. And learning about the historical side of it, I'm not the hugest history lover, but it was so much fun to like visit the archives and read about people that have lived here and learn about the history of Cape Ann throughout this whole process has been so great.
And you guys had a particularly interesting find in the archives, right? Tell us about that.
So I think we were in the archives and we were looking through like, it was different keywords, and we wanted to learn about murders in Cape Ann. And we found this one particular woman who lived in Danvers, and her trial was in Salem. So it was really interesting to see the pictures of her walking out of the trial, or the courthouse. And we just recently found out that she was living in Danvers before she died last year.
She died last year. She was on trial for poisoning and killing her husband, and she was found innocent. I think someone had written in one of the newspapers that we read that she was well liked by the all male jury and by the judge. So she was proclaimed innocent. and we found the 3 transcripts of her trial. So we read through those because we both really like true crime and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. And yeah, I think the most surprising thing was to learn that she died peacefully, like at an old age in Danvers, surrounded by her family last year.
I think the most surprising thing is that you guys learned that archives can be really exciting.
Yeah.
I definitely did not think they would be, but
yeah,
it was really fun.
It was really cool.
Right. So if you end your time on the council in late September, I understand. And if teenagers from the community would like to sign up or join or be accepted into the next teen council, how do they do that?
I would say keep in contact with our Instagram, keep an eye out on the website, possibly reach out to Miranda, which she's the head of education here at the museum. Anything else?
What's your Instagram handle?
Yeah, so the Instagram is at cam_teens. And I'm sure Miranda will be putting up another application on the website soon. And we'll post on Instagram when the application is up to let everyone know. But I would also just say, like, show interest. Definitely reach out to us, stay engaged with the museum. Really, this is open to like everyone, even if you're not interested in art, or maybe you're interested in history and not so much art. Like, come, because there's so many different parts of community and art and history and education that are all part of this. So it's really open for anyone who's interested in any of those things.
And we should say it's also a paid internship. So
Yes.
you're actually employees of the museum when you were on this council. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.